Alright, welcome to my first video. I wanted to do videos so that I can get my thoughts out there. So I went for broke. I got a microphone, which might sound like a potato. I don't know. I got OBS. I got GIMP. And I got a cheap laptop. And I'm recording this in a garage. Don't be an asshole. Anyways, so the first thing I wanted to talk about was Star Wars. Great franchise. George Lucas did great with it. He made it his own. Then he decided to sell it to Disney. I grew up with Star Wars. Never really a big fan. More went to Star Trek way, but, it is what it is. Sorry, need a drink. So, iconic story, right? Your parents grew up with it. Maybe your grandparents, however old you are. Story about a son coming into his own, trying to save the world. Find out his dad's the villain. Whatever. Then George Lucas comes out with the prequels. It follows Darth Vader around as a child. See how he becomes the asshole he becomes. Then Disney gets its claws into it. Now, mind you, there's been comic books and TV shows and animated series and everything you can think of under the sun before Disney got a hold of Star Wars that tells you the lore of Star Wars. So with all that information, they should be able to make the greatest final 3 movies you've ever seen. They shit the bed. Not only did they shit the bed, they shit all over Star Wars. All over it. George Lucas wrote a story that followed the Skywalkers. First the son, then the father. Great. The Skywalkers were meant to bring balance to the Force. And they were supposed to be the most, powerful Jedis, line, whatever. What Disney single-handedly did with their 3 movies is make this a story about the Skywalkers and turn the first 6 movies into a story about the main character told by his henchmen. Meaning all 9 movies now have turned into the Palpatine story. The first 6 were just happened to be told through the eyes of his apprentice. Think about it. He's in all 6 movies. Palpatine is. You see him rise in the first 3 released, 4 through 6. You see how he manipulates Vader. You see how he tries to control everything. In the first 3, 1 through 3, you see him come into power, into his final form, per se. And then in the last 3, you learn that this story was never about the Skywalkers. It was about Palpatine. From day 1. From day 1, you were being told a story through the eyes of his apprentice for his story. So they just took Lucas's dream and shit all over it. Okay? There was the first two final movies of the last 3 could have been salvaged in the third one. And I'll give you my reasoning how they could have salvaged it. But first, let's go up to this fucked up family, shall we? No. Be nice. I'm new at this. So I'm using OBS. In the background, I got all this. Now, I paid for my avatar to look better, but I guess the guy paid. He made a movable thing, 3 image, whatever, and then he sent me snapshots, but I don't know how to fucking use it. And he didn't give me one with my arms crossed, so I gotta work with what I got. Again, don't be an asshole. All right, so here's a relationship chart. Here, we'll do you as, I don't know, who should we do it? Kylo Ren, the new baddie in the last 3. All right, and then you have Rey, right? Now you sit there and you wonder, well, why are you on a relationship chart? Well, think about it. Who is Vader's dad? Yep, Palpatine. Darth Vader number 25, comic book, out before the final movie, tells you that Palpatine is Vader's dad. He was able to manipulate the Force and make a child. Boom. Anakin. Anakin goes on to what? Be Luke's dad. And Leia's dad. And then you got Kylo Ren. So that makes Rey and Kylo first cousins once removed. Oh, but it gets worse. Who is Rey's dad? That's Rey's dad. That's Rey's dad that lands the ship, drops her off, gets killed. That is Palpatine's son. But that's not just Palpatine's son. That is Palpatine's clone. Which makes Palpatine Rey's father. Which makes Rey, technically, Kylo's grand aunt. I don't. Her grandfather's brother. That makes Rey Darth Vader's sister. So, first you have Luke and Leia kissing because they don't know who each other is. Then Kylo and Rey. Okay, I'm just getting sick to my stomach here. Okay. All right, let me get my thoughts back. Hold on. So yeah, Rey is technically Darth Vader's sister, biologically speaking, because her father is Palpatine's clone. Thus meaning, technically, wrinkly, blowed up Palpatine is her father, not her grandfather. So, with that being said, you got this whole fucked up family. But when the movies first started, it was the Skywalkers would bring balance to the Force. And then Disney takes over, whatever their SJW, whatever the fucking reason is they used, they shit on George Lucas's Star Wars to where they don't mean anything. You could literally change all 6 of those movies or watch them in a different way and just watch Palpatine's parts. Because that's what it is. The first 6 movies were turned into Palpatine's story told through the eyes of his apprentice. Or his apprentice's son. So, Disney, you're a piece of shit. Now, let me get it out of this. Hold on. There it is. Okay. Now back to my shitty avatar. There's an easy way to fix this. Come the third movie. You know, I always thought from the first movie to come out, I thought Rey was going to end up being Luke's daughter. I mean, you got the lightsaber calling to her. You got her being hella fucking Force. But they didn't do that. Instead, they fucked up all the movies. how hard would it be just to make that crash scene? You know, Luke, if I remember, he had a wife, Anna. I believe in the books. I can't remember. And he was supposed to have had kids, I think. But even if he didn't, what if, being a young Jedi, I'm sure he got it on with a few people, with a few aliens and humanoids. Why not one of them get pregnant? Okay? And in turn, what's left of the stormtroopers or whatever finds out that Rey, his daughter, is his daughter. And they go to find her. Well, in trying to find her, the mother gets scared, gets a hold of Luke and says, we're coming to you. You got to protect us. Your daughter is not safe. They're coming after her. And the mother ends up ditching Rey on the surface of the planet and takes off to try and save her daughter. The ship gets destroyed. Luke thinks now that his daughter and this woman he loved or didn't love, whatever, is dead. And that's what makes him hide on the island. So when she shows up to the island, he knows who she is because obviously the Force would tell him. And you don't find out till the final episode, the final movie, because Luke's trying to keep it to, like, before he dies in the second one, before he dies, he could relay this to Leia. He could relay this to someone that would, in the third movie, tell her. And then that would give Rey and Kylo the closeness that they seem to have, because now they're actual cousins. Luke's daughter, Leia's son. And it would still be a Skywalker story. And it would be... It would just get rid of Palpatine. Yeah, he's a great-grandfather or whatever, but from Anakin on, it's Skywalkers. And they gotta fight the dark side, which is Palpatine, their great-grandfather. So you have Vader going to the dark side. You have Kylo going to the dark side. Then you have Luke, Leia, and Rey being good. I mean, how hard is that? That wouldn't have been hard. Like, seriously. Seriously. You could have kept the third movie relatively the same. Being Palpatine, being discovered, blah, blah, blah. But why make Rey his granddaughter, clone daughter, clone granddaughter, whatever? Why not just make it Luke's daughter? I mean, it would have appeased everybody. It would have been more, not realistic, but it would have been more understandable why Luke would exile himself to the island. First he tries to kill his nephew, then he finds out his daughter's dead, or vice versa. He finds out his daughter's dead, goes to the island. Leia comes, says, hey, train my son. He's got the Force. You're the best. Do it. Oh, I almost tried to kill your son. I'm going to fucking exile myself. First he loses his daughter, then he tries to kill his nephew because his nephew's going to the dark side. Boom. He's a fucking crazy old man on an island with those little fucking birds. That's it. Boom. I just made trillions of dollars. Disney, please steal that one. Redo the third movie. And that's about it. Hope you enjoyed my first video. But all in all, what do I know? I'm just an old broken paratrooper.